Hi, everybody. I'm that girl Goddess, and I want to talk about people who said they set boundaries in life because as they grew older, they got more mature, grew in the faith or whatever, and a lot of people knew them before they had these boundaries or they had reputations. And this young lady has said this, and she was like, well, men act like they can't accept me. It's impossible for me to have boundaries because of my past. And I look at her and I say, when she said it, it's like, it's not that they look at you like that, because a lot of guys gonna say, well, you let all these other guys hit, but then when it come to me, you want me to be this type of person. You have 6, 7, 8 children, 4 or 5, and you want me, you want to set these boundaries because you want me to be that captain who saves a 304, and it's not happening. And they was talking to her and everything, and if you change your boundaries, you change your boundaries. But a lot of times people know when you're faking boundaries because your spirit man is not lining up. You can say different things, and it's hard. You can have those boundaries. You didn't have a house full of children, and you was just like in the woman in the Bible that was caught in the very act of adultery. You can be doing all of that, been done did all of that, and now you're setting boundaries just like she got saved and walked with Christ, Mary Magdalene. And I tell people, but when your spirit man don't change, people test your spirit and you gotta wait on it. Because a lot of men, whether they respect your boundaries or not, they don't want a whole lot of children, and they're not trying to parent a whole lot of children. And a lot of these women have these babies and they look at the man, if you accept me, you accept what's part of me. They accept it, but they don't have to provide for it. They don't have to be your savior. You got to get out there and grind, because you knew when you had the children, even if the children's father had passed, you had to take care of those children. And see, that's what a lot of females fail to realize, because you can be a single mom of 1 or 2 children, and a lot of men will wait till them children get grown before you're the next hot thing. And that's why they always say 40 is the next 20. Okay. A lot of men prefer when a woman get more over 35, because a lot of them see it as, unless you're looking at an old player that's trying to play somebody most of the time, they want a woman that has the ability to think, to have some life experiences that can help be their strength. Okay, they're not looking for someone that's out here wilding out and stupid, making bad choices that they're going to have to clean up together. Okay, a lot of men are not into that, you know. So a lot of men don't want to pick up the responsibility of somebody else's children, because these women, you have them bragging on TikTok and them there. I got 7 children and I'm pregnant now and I'm getting this amount on my bridge card. And they just want to avoid a whole bunch of unnecessary pitfalls financially. And there's nothing wrong with that. Adults make adult decisions, and we should walk in wisdom. Okay. And I had a nephew, he married a young lady, and her children was young, like 10 years old. And as soon as the children got grown, he dated her like 4 years, then he married her. He loved her and give her the world. And he made real good money. And when the children got grown, she went out there and did what 304s do. They 304 them. Okay. The Bible talk about that. The women go a whoring. And he was so hurt, and she started, once the children got grown and she thought she had everything she needed, she was out in them streets. And, from the beginning, I wanted to tell him she was about them streets. But when someone's in love, you let people grow on their own, You can't always and they don't always accept you saying something terrible about someone they're in love with. Well, nonetheless, that's what's happening. And a lot of women want to set these boundaries and make a man be this Superman till they get out of a bad situation, and a lot of men are not buying it, which I don't blame them, because I tell my sons in a minute, oh no, this, and that. And I don't care what her mouth say. Well, she got to deal with the consequences of her actions, because no siree, we're not going to do all these children. You go to work, you make a certain amount, you want to live within your own prosperity and establish things, and you looking for your equal. God said, don't be unequally yoked. You ain't out here to save nobody. Jesus Christ got on the cross so we can have salvation. He is the Savior, and he even tell you got to go out there and labor. He even tell you, you do something wrong, you got to pay your own cost. You got to bear your own cross. Okay, so I'm not one of these women that's going to advocate for a good man to get in a situation with a woman that had a really crazy past, because everybody don't want to hear that they married to or can love with someone who set the population on high. Okay, and been with everybody. Every time you meet somebody, they be like, oh yeah, I used to kick it with her, I did this with them. Okay, it's not cool. My son said one time, he was like, I don't care about a woman past. But when it happened to him, he was like, man, Mama, I asked her a question. She said no. And next thing I know, all these guys been with her. And I told him, I said, some people looking for a savior at this season in their life. Okay. And I told him, I said, Jesus Christ is a savior. Pray, ask God about it. But he went forward and everything. And she was controlling and went crazy. And I looked at him and I say, son, good looking people should be with good looking people, because ugly people, they'll make all these crazy sacrifices, but they love tends to be really bad. They become abusive, controlling, extremely jealous, argumentative, and the quality of the relationship ain't going to be the same, because good looking people always draw in a lot of people, and them drawing a lot of people, they makes them somewhat friendly, and they outgoing a lot of time, very sociable people. And especially they have beautiful smiles and, beautiful eyes. People are drawn to that. But most ugly, unattractive people are not able to handle that, the amount of attention you can get. And they don't know how to act when you treat them good. And he experiencing and he heartbroken. But I told him, I said, I told you in the beginning, but God is healing them and he's growing. And he said, yeah, he agreed with me. Now he told me I was right. He said, because she just come up with some crazy stuff. He said, Mother's Day, I'm going to get my children. She won't pick up the phone. He said, I want to give her a day off from the children, give her some money and, let her do what she do. And I said, oh, no, they don't act like that. I said, I tried talking to a real ugly man before, and it was hard on a lot of levels, because I woke up, looked at that man, was like, oh, my God. I literally jumped out of my skin. And he looked at me and he said, you just jumped because you was scared of me. You looked at me and seen that I was ugly. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, boy. And he knew. But I didn't confirm it or anything. But I did run from the relationship, because whenever he would pucker up, I look like, oh, Jesus. I didn't even consider all the things. And when he looked at me, I would just stare sometimes, trying to figure out why he's so ugly. And that was wrong of me, being in a relationship. But I didn't treat him bad. I'm a beautiful person. I'm going to treat people in that manner. But I'm just telling people, sometimes people can see past what your mouth is saying, or don't want to be the savior to you. And that's why you're not meeting some of the people that you're meeting, because sometimes your life, when people look at the outside, it don't match up with what you're saying. Okay. And everybody ain't out here trying to save nobody, but your spirit man will speak for you. And you can be saying, oh, I ain't this kind of person, but your spirit man is showing them. And some people have that spiritual eye. They see it. So I just say, tell everybody it's good to change. And I don't always say gives everybody a chance. I just tell people pray about it first. And I'm that girl goddess. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Bye.